In this video, we're looking at the method for working out fractions of amounts. So here we've got four examples: 3/4 of 500, 2/5 of 900, 3/7 of 600, and 1/4 of 864. So if we look at the first one, we're looking at working out 3/4 of 500. So it doesn't really matter what that 500 represents. But in this case, because we're used to working with money, just imagine we're talking about £500 and we want to find 3/4. So what we'd do is get that 500 and divide it into 4 equal parts, and one of those parts would represent 1/4 of 500. Okay, so if we get £500 divided by 4, that would give us 1/4, but we don't want 1/4, we want to work out 3/4 of 500. So we're going to get 500 divided by 4 gives us 1/4, and then times by the 3 to get the value for 3/4. So 500 divided by 4 is 125, and then we get the 125 times by 3, and that will give us £375. So remember to put the pound symbol in because we're talking about money in this case. The second example, we're looking at working out 2/5 of 900. So we get the 900 and divide it into 5 equal parts. So one of those parts represents 1/5 of 900. So 900 divided by 5, that gives us the value of 1/5 of 900, but we don't want 1/5, we want 2/5, so we're going to times by 2. So 900 divided by 5, that's 180, and 180 times 2 is 360. So 2/5 of 900 is 360. Look at the third example, we need to work out 3/7 of 600. So to find 1/7 of 600, I would do 600 divided by 7. But we don't want to find 1/7, we want to find 3/7. So we're going to do 600 divided by 7, and then times by 3. So 600 divided by 7, 85.714, times 3, 257.14285. Okay, so we don't need that many decimal places, and if that was money, we'd want that to 2 decimal places, as in pounds and pennies. So in this number here, we've got a decimal point, so we want it to 2 decimal places. So after the decimal point, we're going to leave 2 digits. So the cutoff point's after the 4, and the decider is the 2. And the rule for rounding is, if the decider is 5 or more, then the last digit will go up by 1. If the decider is less than 5, the last digit stays the same. So in this case, the decider is 2, which is less than 5. So in this case, the 4 is going to stay the same. So our answer will be £257.14. Now, looking at the last example, we're trying to work out 1/4 of 864. So we need 1/4 of 864, so it's 864 divided by 4. That's a bit tricky to do in my head, so I'm going to use the calculator. 864 divided by 4 equals 216. So we're just trying to find 1/4. So 864 divided by 4, that gives us the final answer of 216. So in this case, we just divide by the bottom of the fraction and no need to times by the top. And if you get any number times by 1, you still get the same number. So our final answer would be 216. And if in this case we're looking at 864 trees in a park and we want to find out 1/4 of that, that would be 216 trees. So to summarize, if we need to find a fraction of an amount, the rule is divide by the bottom number times by the top number. Unless it's a units fraction like 1/4, 1/5, then we'll just divide by the bottom. So the fraction rule is divide by bottom times by top.